Hello, welcome to your English class. Today we are going to be talking about Unit 5, Unit 6 of the B1 Plus level. So let's start. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you today. I'm teacher Elisa from the ELSA. So this time we're going to be talking about life plans, okay? So we're going to discuss skills, abilities, qualification, and maybe express regrets about past actions, past decisions, okay? And also we will discuss things that have an influence on our success in life. So let's start talking about careers. Okay, what's the best career for you? So here we have a list, okay, and it says take the preference inventory to see which fields you might be a good match for you. Which fields might be a good match for you. Check the activities you like or would you like to do. So here we have several activities we're gonna go over to check vocabulary. Work on experiments in a science laboratory, write songs, manage a department of a large business corporation, repair furniture. Remember here is chair, like CH. Repair furniture, be a doctor and care for sick people. Design the stage scenery for a play. Please remember, stage scenery, okay? It starts with an S. Teach adults how to read, study a company's sales, restore antique cars, teach science to young people, help families with problems, manage a company's sales representatives, make clothes to sell, interpret X-rays and other medical tests, make paintings and sculptures, help couples with marriage problems. We also have start my own business and build houses. So here you're supposed to choose which ones you feel like you will be good at. And then we're gonna go which color have you crossed the most, have you chosen the most, and then you will know what field will be good for you. Remember that field, yes, can be campo when we talk about sports, but it's also related to the field of life, academic or career, professional career, business field, science field, crafts field, social work field, or arts, right? So here we have a conversation related to career choice, okay? So it says, Dr. Miller, I wonder if I could pick your brain. Sure, Charlotte, what's on your mind? Well, I always thought I would go to engineering school, but now I'm not sure anymore. Well, it's not so unusual for a person your age to change her mind. I must have changed mine 10 times before I settled on medicine. Have you decided on something else? Well, actually, I've developed an interest in the health field. And since you're a doctor, are you thinking of medicine? Not specifically, something related that doesn't take that long to study. I know there are some good options, but I'm having trouble making up my mind. Well, have you given any thought to becoming a physical therapist? It's a great field, you help people, and there's always a job available. Physical therapy, I should have thought of that. I'll keep that in mind. So here we are going to go over certain phrases, okay? So they are talking about careers, specifically about changing careers, okay? Or career changing, which means that they're not happy anymore, okay? So we're gonna go over certain expressions that we have. We have 4 important expressions here, or 3. Okay, so let's go over it. Let me just share my screen again. Okay. So here it is. We have this first one. Listen, it says, pick up your brain. Sorry, pick your brain, not pick up your brain. That would be weird. Pick your brain. Obviously, we know that pick is levantar algo, ¿no? Pick up también. Pero aquí, in this case, definitely doesn't mean levantar tu cerebro. Pick your brain is just to ask someone for his or her opinion. Okay, pick your brain is to question you about something, to know what you think about that. The expression, for example, change your mind or change her mind, change his mind, is like you want something and then you change your mind to something else. For example, I wanted to drink water, but I changed my mind and I'm drinking an iced coffee. Okay, so change your mind, change your opinion. Settle on, settle is like when you stop changing, when you stop looking for someone and you settle. Establecerse. We're talking about careers, personal life, okay? We also have keep that in mind. Keep that in mind basically also means to remember something, okay? To remember something. And we also have making up my mind. Make up your mind. It means to think about something, but in the sense of figuring out something. I'm having trouble making up my mind. Deciding something, okay? Let's say this summer I could go to Greece or Italy or Mexico, but I'm having trouble making up my mind. So make up your mind means to decide. So remember, pick your brain. I'm going to stop sharing. Pick your brain is related to ask someone what he thinks, ask someone questions, okay? Just share this. Well, I wanted to show you these examples. Anyway, so we have pick your brain to ask somebody questions about something. We also have change your mind, change your decision, change your point of view. Settle, you know, to stop changing, to stop not knowing, you settle, establecerse. And make up your mind is to decide. Okay, we're using a lot of phrasal verbs here. Finally, keep that in mind is to always remember something. So these are some new vocabulary words that you can use in English, okay? And we have them here. So let's practice this language we have here. Make up one's mind. So it will be decide to do something else, remember something, think of something, decide to do something after considering conflicting choices, ask someone about something, make a final decision that won't change. So the answer is little d. You know, after several choices, after thinking a lot about that, you make up your mind. Keep something in mind. So obviously is to remember something. Be on one's mind. Let's cross this one because we already have them. So, be on one's mind. Decide to do something else. Think of something. Ask someone about something. Make a final decision that won't change. Settle on. Change one's mind. Pick someone's brain. So what do you think? Pick someone's brain, pick your brain, pick his brain. So it means to ask someone about something. We already seen that. Change one's mind is to decide to do something else. I changed my mind. I decided to do something else. And be on one's mind, think of something. Like it's been on my mind, Ha estado en mi cabeza, lo he estado pensando. Settle on. Sorry, it was settle on. I was right. It's not settle. Settle on is like when you finally make a decision and you're kind of, established, won't change. All right. So these new expressions, you can use them in your daily life. Try to practice them, try to use them, try to include them in your vocabulary. The whole point of these new phrasal verbs we have here is to have more vocabulary, okay? Is to not always be using the same words. Since you are in a B2, B1 plus level, you need to increase your vocabulary, okay? We need to prove that we actually are capable of having a more expanded vocabulary, okay? So remember, pick someone's brain, pick your brain, pick her brain to ask somebody questions, settle on, to establish, to decide something finally. Change your mind to obviously change your decision, change what you were thinking about something. Keep it in mind, it's to remember. And also we have make up your mind, make up my mind, make up his mind, to decide, to really, after thinking about something a lot, to decide something, all right? So let's continue with this unit, okay? For example, we have this conversation and we're gonna use one of these expressions. So what are you doing these days? Well, I'm in dental school. No kidding, I thought you had other plans. That's right, I was going to be an artist, but I changed my mind. Cambié de parecer. How come? Well, it's hard to make a living as a painter. How come? Nosotros sabemos, we know that how it means como, right? So sometimes you're gonna see the question, how come, that it means como, like, how did that happen? ¿No? ¿Cómo pasó eso? Pero ¿cómo? Entonces, en vez de simplemente, instead of only saying how, you can just say, how come, okay? And we have the expression, I changed my mind. Very good. So, we are going to be talking about how to express intentions. That means that we're going to talk about things that we wanted to do, but we didn't do. Okay, it was just an intention, but we finally didn't do it. And for that, we're going to be using was, were, going to, and would. So we already know that was, were is the past simple form of the verb to be. I was a nurse, yo era una enfermera. I was happy, yo era feliz. I was at school yesterday, yo estaba en la escuela ayer. And where we use it for plurals, okay? We were eating popcorn. Estábamos comiendo palomitas, ¿no? Here, we're going to say was, were, going to, as in something that we wanted to do, but we didn't do. In Spanish, that would be sort of like yo iba a, ¿no? Yo iba a estudiar esto, pero finalmente no lo hice. Yo iba a viajar a este lugar, pero finalmente no lo hice. Nosotros íbamos a estudiar medicina, pero no lo hicimos. So that's how you could maybe relate this subject. Was, were, going to. Something that you were going to do. Algo que ibas a hacer, pero no se concretó. Let's check some examples. Examples are very good and important. I was going to get married. Yo me iba a casar, pero pues no lo hice, but I didn't. Was she going to take the course? ¿Iba ella a tomar el curso? As always, in the interrogative form you see, instead of saying subject, of using subject, verb, or auxiliary, we change, right? We're going to use the auxiliary and then the subject. Give me a second here. Okay, I'm sorry, I needed to hydrate. Let's continue. So remember that in the interrogative form, we change the auxiliary. It goes before the subject. Let's check another example. Weren't you going to study law? As you can see, we have the auxiliary and then the subject and then the rest of the verb, right? Weren't you going to study law? Yes, I was. No, I wasn't. ¿No ibas tú a estudiar leyes? Sí, sí iba. No, no iba. So, was, were, going to, and after the to, we have a verb in the base form. Como puedes ver, es was, were, going to, y luego el verbo en su forma base. Depende de si estás hablando en singular o en plural, vas a usar was o were. Ya sabemos que was se usa para I, he, she, it. Por ejemplo, my sister was going to come yesterday. Mi hermana iba a venir ayer. I was going to go to the supermarket this morning. Yo iba a ir al supermercado esta mañana. So usually you use it for things that you were going to do, but they never happened. O sea, esto es importante saberlo, que lo vas a usar para cosas que ibas a hacer. O sea, claramente no pasaron. Okay? That's the difference with the past simple, for example, because the past simple are concrete actions in the past and we've done with them. Okay? And I repeat, for the interrogative form, you use the auxiliary and then the subject. And these are yes/no questions because you only have to say yes or no. Was she going to take the course? Yes, she was. No, she wasn't. Were you going to study law? Weren't you going to study law? Yes, I was. No, I wasn't. Wasn't she going to travel to New York on Sunday? Yes, she was. No, she wasn't. So they're only confirming information, as in any other tense in English. But you can also ask for explanations, ask for information, as in the next one. We have where were they going to work? We have where, ¿dónde? Entonces, here we have to explain. They were going to work in Kuala Lumpur. Who, quién, who was going to teach this class? ¿Quién iba a dar esta clase? So you're asking information. When you add the where, who, when, how, you have to give information. My sister was. As you can see, the auxiliaries are was and were to respond, okay? And then we have some more affirmative examples. They were going to study art, but obviously they didn't. Were you going to study with Dr. Mellon? Yes, I was. No, I wasn't. Okay. So to sum up this, I'm going to give you real examples. For example, for me, today I wasn't going to teach this class. Hoy no iba a dar esta clase, but I did, pero la estoy dando, right? Today I was going to wake up at 9, but I didn't. Hoy me iba a despertar a las 9, pero no lo hice. I woke up at 10, okay? Entonces, algo que iba a hacer, pero finalmente no lo hice. Let's talk about a group of people. Me and my friends were going to have a video call yesterday, but obviously we didn't. Mis amigos y yo íbamos a tener una videollamada ayer. Now, let's practice some yes/no questions. For example, I can tell you, were you going to study English next year? ¿No ibas a estudiar inglés last year, sorry, el año pasado? And you can answer, puedes responder, yes, I was, no, I wasn't. I can ask you about something else. Wasn't your best friend going to travel to France? Yes, she was, no, she wasn't. Okay? Now, we are confirming information. I will ask you questions to get information, not to confirm, to get information. Where were you going to have lunch this weekend? ¿En dónde? No? Where were you going to have lunch this weekend? How were you going to pay your car? No? ¿Cómo? ¿Cómo lo ibas a pagar? So, we're going to be using was, we're going to, and the verb goes in the base form, going to come, going to eat, going to travel, etc. Then the book is telling us that we can also use would. Would is considered the past of will. We already know that will, we use it for future sentences, right? That usually are not planned, that usually are a bit improvised or short future. And the would, it's the past of it, okay? So, is to express plans and intentions that changed. Okay, so let's practice this. For example, she thought she would be a doctor. We always believed they would get married. They say they would pay for their daughter's studies. So this is just another way of expressing intentions and things that never happened. The book says only in a noun clause following verbs such as thought, believe, or said. It's like when in Spanish you say, es que yo pensé que ella vendría. es que pensamos que ellos se casarían, es que creímos, por ejemplo, creímos que llegarías temprano, dijiste que comprarías las cosas. So it's like to talk about assumptions, right? Think the intentions of people's intentions that never happen. For example, I thought today wouldn't be sunny. Wouldn't be sunny. Estoy usando el would y el verbo en su forma base como siempre. Pensé que hoy no habría sol, que hoy no estaría soleado. I believed, estoy hablando en pasado, porque es algo que yo pensé que pasaría. I believed um, me and my husband would go for a walk, ¿no? Pensé que mi esposo y yo iríamos por un paseo. So it's like what you thought, what you believed, what you were hoping to happen. Pensé que vendrías. I thought you would come. Pensé que comprarías el pan. I thought you would buy bread. Yo creí que llegarías temprano. I believed you would arrive on time, early. Dijiste también, como para dijiste lo que ibas a hacer, ¿no? Dijiste que limpiarías la casa. You said that you would clean the house. You said you would clean the house. Incluso a veces puedes quitar el that, por ejemplo. My mother said she would bring the drinks, ¿no? Ella dijo que traería los, pero generalmente es para hablar de cosas that weren't finally finished, cosas que finalmente no se terminaron, ¿ok? All right. For example, here we have four people and they are talking about things they're going to do. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to apply to law school. I'm going to find a husband. I'm going to marry Sylvia. So if we say ella dijo que iba a, vamos a decir, por ejemplo, he said he was going to stop smoking. She said she was going to apply to law school. She said she was going to find a husband. He said he was going to marry Sylvia. Okay. También puedo usar el would. Mira. He said he would stop smoking. She said she would apply to law school. She said she would find a husband. He said he would marry Sylvia. Aquí estoy usando he said porque estoy como citando lo que dijeron tal cual, ¿no? Pero también podría decir, I thought he would stop smoking. I believed she would apply to law school. I thought she would find a husband. I believe he was going to marry Sylvia. Y siempre estoy usando el was porque estamos en este caso hablando de terceras personas. So remember that all this grammar part, as I always said in the lessons, it's important to learn it. Yeah, but wouldn't recommend to just go and memorize a chart. It is important to read it to understand it. But what really helps with grammar, I believe, is the immersion in the language, which means you already know this. This is new knowledge for your brain, or maybe it isn't. But the point is, when you are learning something new, the brain is going to put certain resistance because it's something new and the brain feels uncomfortable when he is learning new things, especially when I'm saying he, for him, finds them maybe challenging, weird, and he's not used to them. But with the time and with practice and immersion in the language, your brain will feel more comfortable and they will become part of your own language, which means continue listening to music, continue watching movies, watching reels, TikTok, whatever you watch in English, reading books in English. And the grammar will make more sense for you the more you get immersed into the English language world. Okay, so now we're going to check some vocabulary related to this. For example, I wanted to be a rock star, but my tastes changed. Quería ser una estrella de rock, pero pues mis gustos cambiaron. My tastes changed. My tastes, sorry. I was going to be an artist, but it's hard to make a living. Make a living as an artist. Recuerda, remember, make a living es vivir de algo. Estamos hablando monetariamente. I thought I would be a lawyer, but I didn't pass the exam. Recuerda no decir exam, es como una G y una Z, exam. I wanted to become a firefighter, but my family talked me out of it. The expression talk out of something to someone, talk out of it, talk me out of it, talked her out of it. Es como convencerla de no hacer algo. Ujú. I was going to marry George, but I changed my mind. Cambié de opinión. Okay, so here you have some expressions that you can use. Then we're going to pass into the perfect models. Okay, for example, this chart looks like overwhelming, right? This can be like too much, but don't worry, we're gonna go through it and you're gonna make it, okay? Let's just take it slowly. So to start, we're gonna use the perfect models to express feelings and beliefs about what you think of the past. For example, now I can tell you, I should have saved more money when I was younger instead of buying clothes. Algo que debía haber hecho. I should have saved more money when I was younger. O sea, debía empezar a ahorrar cuando estaba más joven. Entonces es como lo que piensas de algo del pasado, lo que debí de haber hecho. That's how they call it, okay? Perfect models. Let's check the first example. I should have studied medicine. Debía haber estudiado. Debía haber. Should have. Debía haber estudiado. She shouldn't have divorced Sam. No debió haberse, ¿no? Algo que debiste haber hecho. Debiste haber. Should have done. Should have past participle. Should have past participle. For example, hoy yo te podría decir, today I could say, I should have woken up earlier. Me debía haber despertado más temprano. So that's the important. Should have past participle, okay? For something that you should have done. Algo que debiste haber hecho. Now, that's for regrets, ¿no? Para cosas que te arrepientes, ¿sí? Por ejemplo, también podría decirte, I shouldn't have eaten that much brioche. No debí comer tanto brioche, okay? Now, let's talk about possibility, posibilidades. Ya conoces, you already know may and might. We've used that before. In this occasion, we're going to use them with past participle. For example, I may or might have failed. Tal vez haya. Sí, tal vez haya reprobado. He may or might not have been able to make a living as a painter. O sea, él tal vez no haya logrado vivir de ser pintor. So remember, you can choose. You can choose may or might, but have. If you can see, si puedes darte cuenta, todos estos modales que tú ya conocías están usando el have. Have. Porque el have es como el haber o haya. Por ejemplo, tú ya sabías, you already know that should will be I should go with him. Yo debería ir con él. Pero al ponerle el have es debería haber ido porque ya pasó. Esa es la diferencia. Debería ir con él, es algo que va a pasar. Debería haber ido con él, ya pasó, ya no puedes. I should have gone with him. Another example. She should study more. Ella debería estudiar más. Eso todavía viene, es el futuro, es el presente también. Debería estudiar más, ¿no? Pero si ya no puedes remediarlo y es algo que ya pasó, she should have studied more. Ella debió haber estudiado más. Now, with the may and might es el have también te va a servir. Yo debía haber. Yo debía haber. I might have failed. No, no debí, sorry, tal vez, es posibilidad, es posibilidad. Yo tal vez haya reprobado, yo tal vez no haya sido capaz. I'm going to give you an example, my example. I might have expended too much money in markers. Tal vez haya gastado mucho dinero en marcadores. Tal vez, no sé. Veremos cómo llega a mi cuenta, ¿no? If I'm talking about my best friend, he might or may, you can choose. He may have trusted too much on that girl. Tal vez él haya confiado demasiado en esta persona. So, it's possible. No, no, that wouldn't be the case. He wouldn't, no. Vamos a poner otro. Este no, tiene que ser posibilidad. He may or might have not passed the driving test. Tal vez no haya pasado el examen de conducir. So the first one is debería haber hecho algo y el segundo es tal vez haya pasado algo. No, it's possibility. Finally, we are going to talk about ability, habilidades, okay? Could have, could have. Nosotros ya sabemos que el could es como algo que podrías. I could go, podría ir. I could travel, podría viajar. I could do it, podría hacerlo. Pero en este caso, por ejemplo, dice, he could have pretended the accident. Él pudo haber fingido. The museum was closed, but she couldn't have known that. Ella no podría haber sabido eso. Él no podría, él podría haber. Es podría haber hecho algo. Okay? So let's repeat. El should have es debería haber hecho tal cosa, ¿no? Como que te arrepientes. May or might have es tal vez no haya, tal vez haya pasado algo. It's about possibilities. Y últimamente tienes el could have, podría haber, algo que podría haber hecho, pero pues no hizo. ¿Ok? As I said before, this looks like a lot, but remember that the best way to get to feel more comfortable with this is immersion. See, you need to read more, get more involved in the language. I would recommend you to try to understand the grammar, repeat the video as long, as much as you need to, but you need to get immersed, reading books, listening to music, watching films, mostly films you already know in Spanish so that you can relate the words easily or listen in English with English subtitles, etc. And certainty, we have certainty because here's when you're certain about something, right? You would have loved it, te hubiera encantado. They wouldn't have been happy together. Ellos no habrían sido feliz. So certainty is when you are pretty sure about what you're saying, okay? Como que no hubiera pasado, no hubiera sido, no hubieran sido felices, no hubiera funcionado. You would have loved it, te hubiera encantado. They wouldn't have been happy together, no hubieran sido felices. For example, I could say, if my dad would have come, hubiese venido in December, he wouldn't have loved the weather. No le habría encantado el clima, too much cold. Finally, we have conclusions, must have, must have. Vamos a practicar este. She must have gone home early. Debe haberse ido. The price must not have been acceptable. Ha de ser que el precio no ha de haber sido aceptable. So these models, all of them, as you can see, we're using them with the past participle. And for this subject, it is important to know the past participle of the verb, which is the third column. Remember, do, did, done. Go, went, gone. Drive, drove, driven. And those are irregular. In the case of the regular, where it's the same that in the past simple. Play, played, played. Which other one? For example, want, wanted, wanted. So this whole grammar, it's about hubiera hecho, habría hecho, debió haber hecho, podría haber hecho, and also tal vez haya hecho. Okay, it's more possibilities or regrets. Let's practice this a bit. It says, I don't know why she married him. He, the only man available. This is cruel, but we're gonna do it anyway. Okay, no sé por qué se casó con él. Él must or should be. Yo diría, ha de haber sido el único hombre disponible. He must have been, past participle, the only man available, or he should have been the only man available, ¿no? Es como decir, ha de haber sido o should have been, debió haber sido el único hombre disponible, the only man available. Number 2, I should or may study architecture. I must or would be really good at it. Okay, this is regret. So I would use I should have studied. This is what I would use. Debí haber estudiado or I may have studied. I think I would say should. I guess you could say I may have studied. No, I should. I should have studied. For me, this sounds better. Architecture, remember, T-U-R-E, T-U-R-E, chur, architecture. I'm really good at it. I would say here, I would have been. Para mí suena bien este. I would have been. Yo habría sido muy buena en eso. I must have been very good at it. It's also correct, but for me, it sounds better like this. Both are correct, okay? We just have to form them because it says choose the form, the modal that logically completes each sentence, write the modal and the verb in the perfect modal form. Entonces, por ejemplo, in number one, I don't know why she married him. He must have been the only man available. He should have been the only man available. For me, both of them sound good. Here, for me, this sounds better. And here also, for me, this sounds better. He would have been really good. I would have been very good at it, or I must have been. I think you can also say, I must have been very good at it. Okay. Then we have Gina's not studying Chinese anymore. It too hard to learn Chinese and Japanese at the same time. I think I would say it might have been too hard to learn. Tal vez haya sido muy difícil aprender japonés y chino al mismo tiempo. O también suena bien el otro, ¿eh? Debió haber sido, should have been. Debió haber sido muy difícil. Too hard to learn Chinese and Japanese at the same time. We didn't know, number 4, we didn't know we were going to have 5 children. We, such a small house. I think here I will use should. We should, shouldn't, or should not have bought. No debimos haber comprado una casa tan pequeña. In this case, I wouldn't write could. We could have bought. We couldn't have bought. I think for me, it sounds better should. No debimos haber comprado una casa tan pequeña. Porque el could have not bought. We shouldn't have bought. We could have. Es que el could es podríamos. We could haven't bought. For me, it sounds better. We shouldn't have bought. No deberíamos haber comprado una casa tan pequeña. En este caso, ¿no? Number 5. Ella still loves Ben. She with him. Ella no debió haber cortado con él. She shouldn't have broken up with him. O she no debió haber cortado. Because she shouldn't have broken up with him. Es no debería haber cortado. Pero también podemos poner, we can also write, she mustn't have broken up because it's the past participle. No debió haber cortado, no debería haber cortado con él. I guess both are fine. For me, both of them make sense. Okay, number 6. When I was young, everyone thought I was a great singer, but I decided to become a lawyer instead. Looking back, I think on the wrong career. Recuerda que aquí no lees la W, ¿sí? Looking back, I think tal vez haya elegido la carrera errónea. I think I may have decided. El have que ponemos todo el tiempo es tal vez haya, tal vez habría, hubiera. Esto es el have en todas estas palabras. Yo hubieras, habrías, acompañado de may, should, could, cambia, ¿no? En este caso, I may have decided on the wrong career. Tal vez haya decidido la carrera errónea. Si ponemos let's try with the should. I should have I think it's for me it's okay, just may, yeah, in this case. So as you can see, everything at the end of the day, it's about regret and possibilities. Yo no debí haber hecho eso, podría haber salido mal, debería haber hecho tal cosa, tal vez haya reprobado, tal vez haya estado triste. So it's more about possibilities, suppositions, intentions. And we are always going to use have and has with the modals, okay? Would have, could have, should have, may have, must have. What is the difference? Cuando tú antes, when you learn the modals before, you use modals and the verb. For example, I should go, debería ir. I should have gone, debería haber ido. I could go, podría ir. I could have gone, podría haber ido. I must go, debo ir. I must have gone, debí haber ido. I may go, tal vez vaya. I may have gone. Bueno, en este caso suena raro, pero vamos a poner otro verbo. I may do it. I might have done it. Tal vez lo haya hecho. We also have which other one? Must. I must do it. No, I already said that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would do it. Lo haría. I would have done it. Lo habría hecho. So basically it's the modals and the verb have or has. The verb have or has is going to be like hubiera, habría, etc. Haya. And the verb in the past participle, okay? And again, this looks like a lot, but with the immersion in the language, it's way easier to do it, okay? Okay, so let's go to this part of the book. Where is it? Let's check this reading because readings always help us to get immersed in the language. For me, it's very important, okay? So to finish the unit, we're gonna go over this reading. It says, the 5 most effective work habits. Advice to new workers from a CEO. If you are new to the working world, you are eager to demonstrate your skills and knowledge. However, in addition to those, some basic work habits may even be more effective in promoting your success. Read the following advice to new workers written by the head of the company, which is the CEO, right? Volunteer for assignments. So, one of the best ways to signal that you are a keen learner and are not afraid of hard work is to volunteer for assignments, okay? However, before volunteering for a task, be sure you have the skills and knowledge to accomplish it successfully. Number 2, be nice to people. Be nice to people regardless of their rank or position. When you are nice to people, they go out for their way to help you, and every new worker needs help in order to get ahead. Prioritize your work. We all love to start work on things that are close to our hearts. However, this may not be the most urgent and important in our list of tasks to do. Have a list of things to do according to their strategic importance to your company. When you prioritize your work, you are more productive, and that increases your chances of career success. Number 4, stay positive. As someone new in the working world, you are not used to office culture. And there may be office politics that complicate things. Try to stay above politics and remain positive in the face of challenge. When you are positive, you stay focused on your goals. You make better decisions and therefore get more things done. Number 5, highlight a problem but bring solutions, okay? Offer solution each time you highlight a problem to your boss or management. You need to remember that when you bring problems and not solutions, people may think you as complainer. So we're gonna go over some vocabulary here. We have keen. Keen es que estás muy deseoso de algo o que te gusta mucho algo. You are very into something. I'm keen on love series, ¿no? O sea, me encantan, estoy muy adentrado en eso. Que tienes muchas ganas de algo también, que te gusta mucho. Assignments, like tasks, como asignaciones, tareas en el trabajo. Regardless, a pesar de su posición, de su rango. Regardless of. Remain positive. Remain is just another way of saying stay. Stay positive. Remain positive. Therefore is like saying like this, right? It's like in Spanish when you say así. Highlight a problem. To highlight es como remarcar. We often use it with the marker, like highlight on your book, ¿no? Como remarcar, resaltar algo. Highlight a problem, but bring solutions, okay? So here they are giving us advice career when you're new in a company, because we have been talking about work, we have been talking about jobs and careers. Finally, these 5 work habits at first glance may seem like common sense. However, in actual working environments, people tend to forget the basics. I counsel new workers in our company to internalize this behavior and consistently use it to increase their current chances of career success. Entonces aquí dice at first glance, it's like como a primera vista, así como viéndolo rápido, this seems very obvious, but it's important to keep it in mind because people forget, okay? So this is going to be all for this unit. We've done the vocabulary, the grammar, and the reading of the unit. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson, and I'll see you in our next class. Have a great day. Bye.